Hi everyone. Thank you for joining me on my channel today. I will be doing a motivational speech about believing in yourself before anyone else does. Before we begin today, I want you to answer one question, not out loud, just in your own heart. How many dreams has you abandoned because someone else didn't believe in you? Maybe it was a teacher who said you weren't smart enough, a friend who laughed at your ambition, a family member who told you to be realistic, a stranger who made you question your worth, or perhaps the person who doubted you the most was the one staring back at you in the mirror. Think about that for a moment. How many incredible ideas have never been created because someone believed they weren't capable? How many books were never written? How many businesses were never started? How many songs were never sung? How many lives were never changed? Simple because someone waited for permission to believe in themselves. Today, I want to remind you of one truth that has changed countless lives. You cannot expect the world to believe in you if you refuse to believe in yourself first. Confidence doesn't begin when people applaud you. It begins long before anyone notices you. It begins in the quiet moments when no one is watching, when no one is encouraging you, when no one is telling you to keep going. Real confidence is making the decision to keep walking, even when you are walking alone. Today, I want to share a story about a young woman named Sophia, a story that may sound familiar because, in many ways, it is the story of all of us. The girl who stayed quiet. Sophia was the kind of person most people overlook. She wasn't the loudest in the classroom. She wasn't the fastest athlete. She wasn't the student everyone expected to become successful. She simply blended into the background. Whenever teacher asked questions, Sophia knew many of the answers, but she never raised her hand. Whenever classmates shared ideas, she remained silent, not because she lacked intelligence, but because she feared being wrong. She worried people would laugh. She worried they would judge her. She worried she wasn't good enough. Slowly, fear became a habit, and that habit became part of her identity. She stopped trying new things, stopped sharing ideas, stopped believe she had anything valuable to offer. One day, her teacher announced a school competition. Students would present innovative ideas that could improve their communities. The winner would receive a scholarship and an opportunity to speak before local business leaders. Sophia had an incredible idea. She spent weeks filling notebooks with sketches and plans. She imagined how her project could help thousands of people. But when the submission deadline arrived, she threw everything into the trash. Why? Because she convinced herself someone else would do it better. Have you ever done that before? Have you ever talked yourself out of an opportunity before life even had the chance to test you? Sometimes the greatest obstacle isn't the world. Sometimes it's the voice inside our own head, the invisible prism. Many people believe fear is the opposite of confidence. It isn't. The opposite of confidence is self doubt. Self doubt is invisible. No one else can see it, but it quietly controls your decision. It whispers things like, "You're not talented enough. Someone else is better. Don't embarrass yourself. People like you never succeed." The tragedy is that after hearing those thoughts long enough, we stop questioning them. We accept them as truth, but they are not truth. They are only opinions. Opinions that your fear have repeated so many times that they sound believable. My friend, never confuse your fears with facts. Fears predicts failure. Faith creates possibilities. The old violin. One Saturday afternoon, Sophia wandered into a small antique shop while waiting for the rain to stop. In one corner sat an old violin. It was dusty, its strings were worn, its wood was scratched. Someone had placed a small price tag on it, $10. Sophia picked it up carefully. "It doesn't look like much," she said. The elderly shop owner smiled. "No, it doesn't." Then he gently took the violin from her hands. He tightened the strings, closed his eyes, and began to play. The tiny shop instantly filled with beautiful music. Customers stopped walking. Everyone stood still. For 3 minutes, the world seemed silent except for the melody. When he finished, the shop owner looked at Sophia. "What do you think it's worth now?" She smiled. "A lot more than $10." The old man nodded. The violent never changed. The person playing it did. Then he handed it back to her. Never allow your current condition to determine your value. Those words stayed with Sophia. On the way home, she continued. She couldn't stop thinking, maybe, just maybe, she had been measuring her worth by the wrong standard. Let me ask you something. How many people spend their lives believing they are only worth what others think of them? If someone compliments them, they feel valuable. If someone criticizes them, they feel worthless. If they succeed, they believe in themselves. If they fail, they stop trying. That is a dangerous way to live because it places your confidence in someone else's hands. Real confidence isn't built on applause, it's built on identity, knowing who you are, even when no one else sees your potential, believing in your dreams, even before anyone else understands it, standing tall, even when you are standing alone, because every extraordinary achievement in history begin in one person who believe before the world believe too. A story about an eagle. Have you ever watched a young eagle learning to fly? At first, it stands on the edge of the nest, looking down. The ground seems impossible far away. The wind feels frightening. Everything inside that young eagle wants to stay where it's safe. But eventually, there comes a moment the mother eagle stopped protecting. She nudged the young eagle forward, not because she wants it to fall, but because she knows something the young eagle doesn't. The wings weren't created for flying, not for hiding. Imagine if this eagle waited until it felt completely fearless. It would never leave the nest. Sometimes confidence doesn't come before the leap. Sometimes confidence is born because you choose to leap. That is what believing in yourself look like. Not waiting until fear disappear. Choosing it, move despise it. Sophia had no idea that one conversation inside an antique shop would begin changing her life. She still doubted herself. She felt afraid still. But for the first time, she asked a different question. Instead of asking, what if I failed? She began asking, what if I am capable of far more than I have ever believed? That single question became the beginning of everything because every great journey begins long before success. It begins the moment someone chooses to believe in themselves. Believing in yourself before anyone else does. Confidence isn't bill not given. When Sophia left the antique shop that afternoon, something inside her shifted. The world hadn't changed. Her circumstance hadn't changed. She was still the same young woman. But for the first time in years, she wondered if she had been underestimating herself. The following Monday, she walked into school carrying something she almost left at home, her notebook. The notebook filled with the ideas she had thrown away. She had spent the entire weekend pulling crumbled pages from the trash, smoothing them out one by one. Every wrinkle on those pages reminded her of something. Sometimes we threw away our dreams long before life or ever had the chance to test them. As she approached her teacher classroom, her heart pounded. This is her chance, she whispers to herself. She reached for the doorknob. Then she stopped it. The familiar voice returned. You are going to embarrass yourself. Someone else's idea will be bettered. What if everyone laughed? She stood there for almost 5 minutes. Then another thought appeared. It was quieter, but stronger. What if I never know what could have happened because I was too afraid to try? That question changed everything. She opened the door. The first step is always the hardest. Isn't that true in life? The hardest part isn't becoming successful. The hardest part is taking the first step, starting the business, writing the first page, walking into the interview, making the phone call, applying for the scholarship, signing up for college, speaking in front of people. The first steps feels terrifying because it takes us away from certainty. But here's the beautiful truth. You don't have to see the entire staircase before taking the first step. Sometimes the next step is all you need. Confidence isn't waiting until you feel ready. Confidence is deciding that your dreams matter than your fear. Sophia, first rejection. Sophia submitted her project. For the first time in years, she felt proud of herself. Not because she expected to win, but because she had finally stopped hiding. Several weeks later, the results were posted. She searched the list again and again. Her name wasn't there. She hadn't won. She hadn't even made the final round. The excitement she had felt disappeared instantly. She folded the paper quietly and walked it home. That evening, she stared at the ceiling. Maybe everyone was right. I tried. It wasn't enough. How quickly One disappointment can erase months of courage. How quickly failure can make us forget how far we have already come. But here's what many people don't understand. Sometimes life isn't testing your talent, sometimes it is testing your commitment. Anyone can keep believing when everything is going well. The real question is this: will you still believe in yourself when the result don't go your way? The gardener lesson. A few days later, Sophia visited her grandfather. He spent most of his retirement caring for a beautiful garden behind a small home. She watched him plant a tiny seed. Curious, she asked, "How do you know they will grow?" Her grandfather smiled without looking up. "I don't." Sophia looked confused. "Then why plant them?" He brushed the dirt from his hand and replied, "Because growth take place beneath the surface long before anyone else sees it." He pointed toward a tall oak tree. "Do you know how many years that tree spent growing before it became this strong?" She shook her head. "If someone had dug it up every week to see it if it was growing, it would have died." Then he looked at Sophia. "Dreams are no different. You cannot quit just because you don't see result immediately. Roots grow in silence." Those words settled deep into Sophia's heart. Perhaps her dream wasn't failing. Perhaps it was growing roots. The story we tell ourselves. Every one of us tell ourselves a story. Some story build us, others quietly destroy us. I have always been bad at this. I am too old. I am too young. I am not educated enough. I am not talented enough. I will never be successful. The problem isn't just the words, the problem is repetition. Repeat a lie long enough, and eventually it begins to sound like the truth. But imagine replacing those stories. I am learning. I am improving. I am becoming stronger. I haven't reached my goal yet. I am capable of more than I realize. The words you repeat every day became the belief that shape your future. Choose them wisely. The Oprah Winfrey story. There was a time when Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't suited for television. Can you imagine hearing that, someone looking at your greatness, gift, and telling you it wasn't enough? Excuse me. Many people would have accepted that opinion as their identity, but Oprah chose something different. She believed in her ability even when others doubted her. She continues learning. continue growing, continued showing up. Eventually, she became one of the most influential media figures in the world. Imagine what would have happened if she had believed the criticism instead of believing in herself. One opinion could have silenced a voice that inspired millions. Never allow someone else's opinion to become the limit of your potential. Steve Jobs and starting over. Steve Jobs helped build one of the most innovative technology company in history. Yet there came a time when he was forced out of the very company he helped created. Imagine that. Being told you no longer belong where your dreams had begun. Many people would have allowed bitterness to define them. Instead, he continued creating. He started new companies, develop new ideas, keep believing in his vision. Years later, he returned with greater wisdom and helped shape products that have changed how millions of people live and communicate. Sometimes life removes you from one place only to prepare you for something even greater. Sophia, turning point. Weeks pass, then months. Sophia keep working. She entered another competition. This time she didn't win either, but something interesting happened. She wasn't discouraged, she smiled because she realized something. She was becoming braver. Each attempt made fear a little smaller. Each experience made confidence a little stronger. One evening, she opened the notebook she had nearly thrown away. She noticed something remarkable. The person who had written the first page wasn't the same person writing now. The ideas were bolder, the handwriting looked more confident, the plans were better. Without realizing it, she had grown. Not because she had won, but because she had refused to stop. Sometimes your greatest victory isn't the trophy. Sometimes your greatest victory is becoming someone who no longer need the trophy to believe in themselves. Let me ask you another question. Who decides your value? Is it your failures, your critics, your social media followers, your paycheck, your appearance, or is your value something much deeper? The moment you stop letting the world decide your worth, you become truly free because confidence built on approval disappear when applause end. But confidence built on character lasts a lifetime. The strongest people are not those who never feel fear. The strongest people are those who keep moving despite it. And that's exactly what Sophia was learning. She wasn't waiting for confidence anymore. She was creating it. One courageous step at a time. Believe in yourself before anyone else does. There is something remarkable about confidence. It really arrives all at once. It grows quietly like the sunrise, one ray at a time, one decisions at a time, one courageous step at a time. Sophia didn't wake up one morning fearless. She still became nervous. She still questioned herself. She still heard the voice of doubt. The difference was this: she had stopped listening to it. Instead, she began listening to another voice, a stronger voice, a wiser voice, the voice that whispered, "Keep going. You are growing. Don't stop now." That voice changed everything. Nearly 2 years had passed since Sophia almost threw away her notebook. During those 2 years, she entered competitions. Some she lost, some she placed in. She volunteered in community programs. She attends workshops. She continued improving her idea. She never became famous overnight. There was no magical moment, no instant success, only steady growth. Then one afternoon, her former teacher called. "Sophia, I have recommended you to present your project at the regional innovation conference." Her heart nearly stopped. The conference, the one with business leaders, yes. And educators, yes. And investors, yes. There would be nearly 1,000 people in attendance. Years earlier, she couldn't even raise her hand in class. Now she was being asked to stand before hundreds of strangers. Her first thought wasn't excitement, it was fear. What if I embarrass myself? But then she smiled because she recognized that voice. It was the same voice that had tried to stop her years before, only this time it no longer had the final say. The night before the conference, Sophia stood in front of a mirror. She looked at herself for a long time. Then she remembered the girl she used to be, the girl who stayed silent, the girl who threw away her dreams, the girl who waited for permission. She smiled gently. I have been waiting for people to believe in me. Then she paused. But I have finally realized the person whose belief mattered most was mine. At that moment, she wasn't talking to the reflection. She was talking to every version of herself that had even been afraid, every version that have ever doubted, every version that had almost given up. Sometimes the most important conversation you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. The next morning, Sophia walked onto the stage. The lights were bright. The audience stretched farther than she could see. For just a second, everything became quiet. She remembered the classroom where she never raised her hand. She remembered the notebook in the trash. She remembered the old violin. She remembered her grandfather's garden. She remembered every setback, every disappointment, every moment she nearly quit. Then she took a deep breath and she began. She didn't speak perfectly. She wasn't the most polished presenter. She stumbled over a few words. She forget one sentence she had practiced. But something incredible happened. The audience wasn't listening for perfection. They were listening for authenticity. Her passion filled the room. Her story touched hearts. Her ideas inspired people. When she finished, the audience stood one by one. Applause echoed through the entire auditorium, not because she was perfect, but because she was genuine, because she believed in what she was saying, and for the first time, she fully believed in herself. After the event, dozens of people approached her. Some wanted to support her project, others wanted to encourage her. One young girl waited quietly until everyone else had left. She looked at Sophia and said, I have always been afraid to speak in front of people. But after hearing your story, I think I can try. Sophia smiled. Then she realized something beautiful. The greatest reward wasn't the applause, it wasn't the recognition, it wasn't the opportunities. It was knowing that her courage had become someone else's courage. Isn't that what life is really about? Your confidence gives someone else permission to believe in themselves. Your story become another person's hope. Your perseverance became another person inspiration. Have you ever watched a butterfly emerge from its cocoon? It struggles, it pushes, it fights for every inch. Sometimes people want to help. They want to cut the cocoon open, but scientists know something remarkable. If you remove the struggle, the butterfly never develops the strength to fly. Its struggle is not its enemy. Its struggle is its preparation. Think about your own life. What if your challenges aren't punishing you? What if they are preparing you for responsibilities you haven't yet imagined, preparing you for opportunities you haven't yet received, preparing you to become the person you were always capable of becoming? Never curse the purpose or the purpose that it is building your strength. 5 truths about believing in yourself. Before we finish today, I want to leave you with 5 truths. Truth 1: no one can believe in your dreams more than you. People may encourage you, mentors may guide you, family may support you, but eventually you must decide whether you believe in yourself. Truth 2: confidence grows through action. You don't become confident by waiting, you become confident by doing. Every small step tells your mind, I can. Truth 3: stop comparing your journey. Someone else's success does not reduce your potential. The sun and the moon both shine. They simply shine at different time. Your season is coming. Be patient. Truth 4: your past does not define your future. Mistakes are chapters, not the entire book. You can begin writing a new chapter today. Truth 5: believe in yourself before the applause, because applause comes and goes. Character remain, purpose remains, self-belief remain. So here's my challenge to you. Leave this room different than you entered it. Apply for the opportunity. Start the business. Write the book. Learn the skill. Take the class. Share your idea. Speak your truth. Don't wait until fear disappears. Act anyway. One small act of courage today can completely change your life tomorrow. Years from now, people may look at your success and think, They were lucky. But you will know the truth. It wasn't luck. It was the day you decided to believe in yourself before anyone else did. As I close today, I want you to remember one final image. Imagine standing at the edge of a mountain. Behind you is every fear you have ever faced, every rejection, every criticism, every mistakes, every moment of doubt. Now look ahead. There is another mountain waiting. No one, not one you must fear, one you are capable of climbing, because you're no longer the person who began the journey. You are stronger, wiser, braver, more resilient, more prepared. Believing in your dreams, even when no one understands them. Believe in your abilities, even when others question them. Believe in your future, even when the roads seem uncertain, because history has always belonged to ordinary people who made one extraordinary decisions. They choose to believe in themselves before anyone else did. I will leave you with this. The world may not see your potential today. That doesn't mean it doesn't that doesn't mean it isn't there. A seed doesn't look like a forest. A spark doesn't look like a wildfire. A single note doesn't sound like a symphony. And one person believing in themselves may become the beginning of something that changes the world. So walk forward with courage. Walk forward with faith. Walk forward with confidence. And never forget, the first person who must believe in your dream is you. Thank you. May you live today believing that your greatest strength has been inside you all along. Now go and become the person you were created to be. Thank you. And if you enjoy this beautiful video, you can subscribe, like, and share. One love. Peace.